Coach Garvey, a couple questions for you. The Bethany defense returned 7 starters from 2018, a season that the unit led the PAC in scoring defense, total defense, pass defense, and rushing defense. Talk about your top returners on that side of the ball, including the young man sitting next to you today.
Yeah, well, we're excited to keep Gibby where he is. I mean, it seems like he's been here for as long as I have, 13 years or so, I think. He's been at Bethany a long, long time now. But we're excited to have him back. But honestly, we returned a whole bunch of guys off of what we thought was a pretty good defense. And what we're really excited about is we lost a guy who was here last year, sitting in Gibby's seat, and John Lee, who we lost in camp to a season-ending injury. And we'll return him. So you could argue we have 8 starters back. So we're excited about John and getting him back to being healthy and ready to go. But the secondaries are going to return, a young man who replaced John and Keandre Murph, and Murph, really evolved into a very physical player for us, and really took the challenge on where he wasn't really projected to be a starter, a contributor for sure, but not a starter, and he took that role and ran with it and had a great season, and he'll be back there with John, and we get a freshman corner that really started to progress as a young player in the second half of the season in Keon Thompson. And then, arguably, I think possibly the second half of our season, or maybe our most valuable player on defense is Phil Taylor. He had a great second half of the season. Really made a whole bunch of plays for us and contributed to our defense, so we're excited about it. And, the defensive line is going to be anchored by this guy, but we return 2 other people there off of a group that, arguably, gets really maybe the best in the conference a year ago, could really get after the passer, and we will continue that. Our defensive coordinator, Dave Arnold, has set the standard of that defense, and we expect a lot.
Defensively, the Bison look to replace 5 key starters, including all-PAC first-team linebacker Joe Fiasco. How do you plan to build on the successes your defense had last season while also trying to fill those starting spots?
Yeah, it means no surprise to anybody probably in the room coaching-wise, and certainly our team, is we're going to lean on our defense. Our defense has been the better portion of our team probably the last 2 or 3 years, no doubt. We got to replace 2 linebackers, one in Joe Fiasco and our other starting linebacker, and they were very productive. So we got to replace those guys and find their replacements. It should be an easier time to do. We got some older guys who played a whole bunch of football for us as backups to those guys. But with the starting front 5 that we have that we're bringing back, we think that should be an easy transition. Like I said, Coach Arnold has done a fantastic job with our defense and has set the standard not only really honestly for our defense, but our entire team. And we expect effort and focus, and that at a very high level. And our offense needs to match our defense, and if we do that successfully and get some production, a little bit better production out of our offense, we think we'll be right there in the mix in the top half of the conference.
Coach, last question for you. The Bison concluded the 2018 season with their first 5-win season since 2015, and also finished above 500 in the conference for the first time since going 5-3 in 2014. How can this team build on that and take another step forward in 2019?
Well, honestly, it's already started. Like everyone's talking about the process, right? I mean, it started in the offseason. I think we had probably, in my tenure as the head coach, and maybe in the 13 years I've been there total at Bethany, possibly the best offseason we had in the weight room. And it's starting with also with our administration and our president. We have our first-year AD who just completed his first year this summer. Brand new weight room equipment that he really, has pushed us to the forefront there and really got that done for us. So it's began already, and we got to come into camp in another week and a half or whatever it is, 9 days, and get ourselves ready and continue to push forward. The 2 previous seasons up until last year, were tough ones, and this senior group has been through that and now tasted a little bit of success last year, going 5-5 and have a better year, and we expect them to lead us and carry us through this season. And and again, have our effort and focus where it needs to be, and we think good things will happen for us.
Coach Garvey, thank you. Daniel, a few questions for you. It's been a long day already. You had a great season in 2018. All-PAC first-team honors after totaling 56 tackles, 14.5 tackles for loss, 5 sacks. Talk about your role on the team this year, not just as a returning starter, but as a senior leader.
Well, last year I was supposed to be a senior, so I was a co-captain. And my role doesn't really change except the fact that I have to lead by example more and show the kids that if I play everything at 100%, they'll come after me and do the same thing.
What were the deciding factors that made you want to come back and utilize your final year of eligibility at Bethany?
That's an easy question. When we lost to W&J 20-27 and Carnegie Mellon 14-17, those were really close games that if we played to our full potential all 4 quarters, we could be able to win those.
Share some of the goals that Bethany has set as a team for 2019, and maybe tell us some of your personal or individual goals heading into this year.
Every team's goal should be to win the PAC championship, so that's what we're striving for. Also to better our record from 5-5 to if we win those games, we could be 7-3, 8-2, and we're contenders for the PAC championship. Personally, just to win and repeat what I did last year and even better.
Daniel, Coach Garvey, thank you guys. Bethany will open its season Saturday, September 7th at home against Ursinus College.